So this time, I was looking more into Norse mythology. It's always a fun classic to go back to after all. It's the old story of Tyr and Fenrir. Anyway, you might be a bit familiar with the story, but I'll tell you anyway. Tyr was the Norse god of war, justice, and heroic glory, revered for his courage and sense of honor in the pantheon of Norse mythology. He ended up sacrificing his hand to bind Fenrir in order to ensure safety of the other gods and keeping the cosmic order. After the birth of Fenrir, the prophecy of Ragnarok foretold that he would devour Volten and bring about the end of the gods, leading the Aesir to seek a way to bind him. Tyr volunteered to place his hand in Fenrir's jaws as a pledge of good faith, allowing the gods to bind him with the magical chain Gleipnir. When Fenrir realized he was trapped, he bit off Tyr's hand. He basically symbolizes the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good, and the moral duty to uphold oaths, even at great personal cost, making him a model of honor and justice. Fenrir, on the other hand, no pun intended, was the monstrous wolf, son of Loki, and the giantess Angrboda, and one of the most feared creatures in Norse mythology. He grows to immense size and strength, and is destined to break free during Ragnarok and kill Volten, fulfilling a prophecy that will bring about the end of the world. The gods, alarmed by Fenrir's power and the prophecy of his role in Ragnarok, sought to bind them to prevent the apocalypse. They forged the unbreakable chain Gleipnir from impossible materials, and through deception lured Fenrir into being bound. When he realized that he was trapped and having Tyr's hand in his mouth, he bites it off in a rage. So, just what kind of impossible materials was Gleipnir made of? Well, it was made from 6 ingredients: the sound of a cat's footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of mountains, the sinews of a bear, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird. And despite being as thin as a silken ribbon, it was stronger than any iron chain. Fenrir embodies the unstoppable force of fate and the destructive powers of chaos, representing the inevitability of Ragnarok in the limits of divine control. So Tyr and Fenrir are locked in a tragic, fated opposition. Tyr, the embodiment of honor and justice, confronts Fenrir, the symbol of chaos and destruction. Their conflict resolves through deception and sacrifice, where Tyr's hand is lost and Fenrir is bound, but only temporarily. The binding is a necessary act to delay, but not prevent, Ragnarok. This dynamic underscores the tragic cost of cosmic balance, where justice demands sacrifice, and even the gods must confront their own limitations. Both represent this delicate balance between order and chaos, where even the strongest gods must make painful sacrifices to maintain cosmic harmony. Tyr's courage ensures that fate is delayed, not defeated, which makes the apocalypse a story not of failure, but of inevitable sacred design. Now, while Tyr is a god of war, unlike other gods of war in other pantheons, he is more closely associated with justice, law, and heroic sacrifice instead of warfare. He is also not really mentioned in many events with battlefields or battles involved throughout the Norse texts. If anything, he's not even mentioned that much at all, sadly. But by that I mean, other gods like Volten or Thor were mentioned in a lot more fights than Tyr. Pretty cool, huh? I always love revisiting Norse myth. The stories are very simple sometimes, but very cool. Here you have a guy letting a giant wolf bite and tear his arm off, so he can delay his rampage in the upcoming apocalypse as those around him bind him, which is a really heroic thing to do. Still, did you have fun? I'm glad. It's always a lot of fun talking to you about mythology, even if it's just me rambling and reading my notes. What will we cover next time, I wonder? Well, that just means you'll need to be patient. So, until then, my little pupil.